Peace, guys. It's me, Arlene J. Ramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self wealth mentor. This segment, I am discussing this narrative that is still floating throughout our community, and that is that there's an agenda. White supremacy has an agenda to effeminize the black man. Although I agree with it, um, I would like us to look at things from another perspective. The other narrative that is continuing to float within our community is that the black woman got bamboozled by the white woman via the women's liberation movement, and that black women are kicking black men out of the house because they're getting welfare from the system. I created a video a couple of weeks ago reminding you guys of that Social Care Act. That act was put into play. It's the Social Security Act, right? That act has been put into play in 1935 during the Great Depression. The Great Depression started in 1929 and it ended in 1939. This Social Security Act was processed and passed in 1935, in which they had a couple of services for families. And the Welfare Act is the one that they chose to pigeonhole the black family to. So, as I repeat again, not only did the black woman suffer from that, so did the black man, okay? And that was a collective decision. Like, I don't think that the black woman just kicked the black man out of the house, all right? Being that there was no work, the black man couldn't get income or make income to take care of his family. I do believe that that was a discussion and a plan that both the black man and the black woman at that time had, so that the black woman can go ahead and get funds from the government so that she can take care of her children, okay? This is what created the movement. I'm 42. I will be 42 on the 13th of December. When I was a child, I used to see, and don't mind my holes, every year, not every year, every month, at the first of the month, you would see black men coming back home. And it was just to come home and get some of that welfare money, get some of that welfare food. And then next thing you know, but between the 1st and the 10th of the month, he's back out of the house again. All right. But in my day, they started saying that the black man wasn't shit because he only comes around during the 1st of the month. But where did that structure come from? Where did that behavior come from? It came from somewhere. And being that this is not discussed, it tells me that that behavior, that action came from the plan, the plot that the black woman and the black man had during that time, so that the black family can be taken care of. But being that the black man was still unable to make an income for himself, the black woman say, all right, they say, okay, you can't be home, but come every month around the 1st of the month, just make sure you come and get some money, get some food. And she would give him money so he can take care of himself, so that it can last him for the whole month until next month comes around. Okay? What I would like to see us do is stop pointing the fingers and blaming each other. And I've said this before, but okay, so I'm going to end with that. We have to stop pointing the fingers at each other and saying that the black woman was a fool and she fell for the white woman's trick. No, both the black man and the black woman suffered in a negative way from that Social Security Act that was passed in 1935, all right? And the only way we're going to get along better is if we have a better understanding of that, and that we don't put all the blame only on the black woman. Now let's move along, all right? I agree with the agenda to effeminize the black man. However, what I've seen is that the black woman who raised these black men, played a big part in effeminizing their own sons. Because the father figure, there were no male figure around. Besides their brothers, uncles, family members, that's different. But we're talking about male figures. There were no male figures around so that the black woman can embrace and exchange with on a more intimate level. And deep down inside, that black woman has been missing that male interaction. So much so that from what I've been seeing, that when that black woman is raising her sons, she's raising him in a way to strip him of his masculinity from a very young age. All right. You ever notice, and I am not talking negative about no one or no group, so please don't take this recording in that way, but it is just to bring forth information from a different perspective so we can get a better understanding of what we're talking about, so we won't be so cynical against each other, because it's not helping us. I say this all the time. It is not helping for the black man and the black woman to be constantly doing this. And it doesn't make sense. When I read and listen to what you guys are saying, you're still missing some things, okay? But have you ever noticed that gay men, I can't speak for gay men in other nationalities because I don't know. I can only speak for gay black men, okay? And I can't speak for all of them. I can only speak for what I see of some gay black men. But have you ever noticed that gay black men have a lot of female friends? You ever wonder why? Okay. Besides the fact that he wants to be like that, like women, so he wants to hang around women so he can stay in abreast of that feminine energy. It also helps out the black woman because now black women get to have friends, black male friends. However, those very same men that are their friends, because they're gay, they're not for the picking of them. But when they go out, whatever they do, their gay friends are by their side through thick and thin. And that's what the black woman wants. They want friends and partnerships in the black man. And being that a heterosexual black man don't stay around black women like that unless he wants to have sex. He's rarely around to just have basic conversations. And we're not talking about there's a lot of brothers out there that are working their heinies off and they're working long hours, and shout out, I appreciate you guys. And there's a lot of us who do appreciate you. So this recording is going to miss you. We're not talking about you because we understand that you're doing what you need to do. You got a plan and you understand what you want your life to look like and be like within the next couple of years. So you're putting a lot of your hours into work. All right. Shout out to you because that's a very hard thing to do. And a lot of you make that look so easy. You do it effortlessly, and we should appreciate that or recognize the value and what it takes to do that. All right. So I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the men that just have regular 9-to-5 jobs where when they get off work, they have an excess of time. In their excess of time, who do they spend the most of their time with? Right? And then you have to look at we're still missing that male interaction. Therefore, because she doesn't want to be alone, she starts with her son. And a lot of them do it intentionally, and a lot of them do it unintentionally. However, the act is still happening. Whereas black women are conditioning their boys to be more effeminate because they want a man around. They want a male figure around. They miss that male figure. So now their sons are growing up, and due to the fact that they are not accustomed with black men in leadership, or black men just leading a household, they're not so open-minded and tolerable of their sons acting or showing up as his authentic self. So now you're stripping him of who he is by saying, oh, he's dumb if he thinks in a certain way. We have to understand that men don't think the way women do. So when a boy responds or give his perspective or analysis on some things, is his analysis respected? I don't think it's not respected in that household, because the black woman or women are looking more for his response to be more in alignment with theirs. And that's what all too often, that's what happened within the black community, that once you have a different perspective, you get chewed up and eaten alive and spit back out just for having a different perspective. Understand how that affects the boy. The other thing that we're not talking about is that a lot of these boys, just as girls, okay, girls are not the only one, but a lot of boys have been sexually molested by these so-called guys that pop in and out of the black woman's life every now and then. Your sons have been molested by these boys too. By your sons have been molested as well. So when he starts to show up in feminine energy, that has a lot to do with what's going on in his what's going on in the household that directly affects him, and it has nothing to do with the white agenda that we're complaining about so often. Too often we're pointing the fingers at only the white agenda, white supremacy, and I understand that exists, okay? So I don't want to go down the road and even talking about that, because who don't know that? Our ancestors have been talking about that forever, right? Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Kwame Ture. Do you need me to talk about it too? We already know that that exists, all right? However, what are we doing to stand firm to make sure that our positions are solid to combat that system that has been put in place? We're not doing enough. We're not thorough enough about our position. We're just like easy for the picking. We do things to each other that furthers their agenda, and we blame them for it, not realizing our role in our own demise, in our own spiritual, physical, thriving demise. We have a lot to do with the breakdown with our black men and within our black community. It's time we start focusing on that. Sisters, I understand how you feel. And I don't have any children. So many of you say, well, it's easier for you to say than it's easier said than done, because you don't know what it's like to be a mother. Well, I do know what it's like to raise children that wasn't mine. My teenage years, my young adolescent years and teenage years went down the drain having to raise small children, help raise small children that weren't mine, 3 of them. That's why I don't have any, because I wasn't allowed to be a teenager and a youth in peace. So enough about me. Let's get back to what the paradigm that's been affecting black masculinity. All right, our young boys are being molested. Okay, and we have to think about the psyche of a boy and of a man. Okay, men have the mentality. This is basic instinct. It is basic instinct in his first nature that they are conquerors. All right, that's just how they think, because that's how they were born. I'm not here to question that, and you shouldn't question it either. All right, just how some things, like men will never get a period, a menstrual, because that's not how they were born, and they shouldn't question it. We shouldn't question that either, because that is their first nature, part of their first nature. However, they are born to be conquerors, right? Think about a boy who have been sexually molested, and then how he thinks about himself. He's going to think that something is wrong with him for being molested. He looks at his position of being sexually molested completely different from a girl, because we understand that we're here to have sex with men when we get older in age. However, being sexually molested and robbing me of my innocence at a young age, makes me feel like I'm devalued, like something was wrong with me as well, but devalued. It doesn't force me to question my femininity in that way. It causes me to question, what do I look like? Am I ugly? Am I repulsive? There's just something wrong with my thought process. It causes me to question myself in another way. However, with the boy, the man, it causes him to question his makeup and his sexuality. Why would another man look at him and find him sexually attractive? Is there something about him that was girly? Was he meant to be a girl and came out of a boy? He starts that, so it confuses him. It confuses him. So now he's thinking he was conquered. So then, maybe I was born to be a girl. So now he's starting to show up in feminine qualities, because he's already with his own philosophy and ideology about life, right? Because you're not helping him out. You're pretending you don't know that he was sexually abused. You can tell when something's wrong with your child. But certain things, women act like they don't see it. So when you act like you don't see it and you push it under the rug, you sweep it under the rug, guess what you leave the children to do? You leave them with their limited perspective and information on life as a whole to find way to preserve themselves and deal with life in their own little way. And when they do that, whatever ideologies and philosophy that they have in their mind, that's what they're going to start telling themselves, and that's what they're going to show up as. That has nothing to do with white supremacy. It has a lot to do with character and you not being accountable for the role that you're playing in your children's lives. And part of that role is to keep them safe. Part of that role is to guide them in the right direction. Part of that role is to support them and affirm them in a positive way. And it's not happening. Let's look at another thing that's affecting black babies and black boys. You know, too often we say that, oh, they do something to the kids in the hospitals. It's the flu shot. I get that too. I'm not saying that I get it. However, what about what it is that you've been consuming while you've been pregnant with this child? Okay. Have you been smoking cigarettes? Have you been smoking crack, cocaine, heroin, popping opioids, drinking alcohol? The other thing is dealing with a lot of stress. Now that I'm going to blame on the system, because the level of stress that we have to deal with in our community or just even on the job when we go to work, we're attacked just for being who we are. And who we are is reactive due to post-traumatic slave syndrome and due to who we've become to each other within the black community. So now we show up as these frantic human beings amongst other people who does not come from our background, who does not understand our culture. So now we're easy targets. We stick out like sore thumbs. They can tell something doesn't seem quite right with this individual. And because black people don't have any support within their own community or from the system, guess what? People think that it's okay to take out their rude, treacherous behavior on black people. So now when that black woman goes to work and she has to deal with this unnecessary stress, if she's pregnant, that baby is absorbing everything that she's going through, all her self-talk, all of her emotions, everything that you go through has a vibration and an energy that is attached to it. And if you're pregnant, that child is absorbing that energy. That has a lot to do with why women are making premature babies, and why sometimes your children are coming out with birth defects like autism, sometimes it's ADHD or ADD, which I don't believe that's 100% an issue. However, some of the defects that our children are born with stems from it's the direct effect to the causes of what the mother has been going through and what the mom has been consuming, and it has been trickled down to the baby, right? But we're not going to hold ourselves accountable for that, but we're blaming the white system and saying that the white system, white supremacy, those doctors are doing something to the child. Again, have you made sure that you created a safe spiritual space to grow a child within you? Because if you hadn't, a lot of your energy has affected your child. Okay? The other thing is what we eat. Black people, we don't like to eat healthy. We don't eat healthy. We know we can tear some fried chicken up. I don't cook it. I do not fry food in the house. If I want to eat fried food and junk food, which I do, because I like my French fries and I like my fried chicken. If I want that, I go and I buy it. So here's the thing with me and that. I don't buy food much because I buy groceries and I cook food, right? So there's no need for me to waste money and buy food. Therefore, I don't buy a lot of junk food because I usually have food at home. I put a cap on how much junk food I eat. And when I buy groceries, I'm always looking to buy things and cook things that puts nutrients in my body in some way, shape, or form. I'm not just out here eating shit. Okay? Too often you guys are eating pizza, hot dogs, french fries, fried chicken, burgers, and a lot of the food is fried. Our body needs a lot of minerals in order for it to in order for us to have a balanced diet and for our bodies to perform the way that it's supposed to perform at max. We need to have a balanced diet of minerals and nutrients. We don't eat that. Therefore, our boys are not as strong as they're supposed to be, and their libido is going down. So a lot of their feminine qualities are coming from the fact that you're not feeding them foods to boost up their masculinity and their strength. You're also, it's what you're saying to them. It's the information that they're also consuming mentally and what they hear. A lot of all of this and what they eat has a lot to do with what they show up as and what they align themselves with. If you can't stand their father and you think black men ain't shit, being that a boy is here to be a protector and conqueror, he's going to automatically start saying to himself, why would he want to be a man or associate with men who ain't shit? Because remember, you're still his mother, or you're still his aunt or his family member. So he automatically has basic nature to want to make sure his mother and female family members are safe and taken care of. Therefore, he's not even going to want to like himself. So he's going to start to show up in alignment with energy that is against or opposed his energy. All right, talk about nutrition. Okay, so I went and looked this stuff up and I wrote it down. All right, our bodies need, in order for us to have balanced diet and for us to perform, for our bodies to perform at max, that means help our immune system beat out any ailments so we don't get diseases. Make sure that we're, pooping. We got to make sure we're moving bowels at least twice a day. At least once a day. You should be moving bowels once a day. All right? Twice a day, better. 3 times a day is great. Right? In order for our bodies to perform its max so that our fellas can have the libido, so they don't have erectile dysfunctions. That's the other thing. These erectile dysfunctions, where is it coming from? Because you're not eating appropriate foods. You're eating junk foods. You have to understand that a man's penis is a muscle, okay? And it's the only muscle on a man's body that you can't put a weight on so it can lift weights to develop it and make it stronger. Everything else, you can lift weights, run, ride a bike, roller skate, exercise, and build that muscle. With a man's penis, the way that it gets exercised is when it gets erect. And in order for it to erect healthily, you have to be eating healthy. You cannot be eating this french fries and burgers and tacos and all this bullshit all the time, because none of those foods have the proper amount of minerals that your body needs for your body to perform the way it should perform. Okay? So now, let me read you, guys and women, the minerals that our bodies need. We need fiber, we need calcium, we need iron, we need potassium, we need copper, we need folic acid, we need omega-3 fatty acids, we need the vitamins E, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin A. We need protein, we need magnesium, we need selenium, and we need iodine. All right. So now I also looked up some foods, because I know a lot of foods off top that have these, but everybody doesn't like everything. And the great thing with these vitamin minerals that our bodies need, there's so many different foods that carry these very same minerals. So let's say you don't like spinach, but you like kale. Okay, you don't have to eat spinach, but as long as you have kale and broccoli, you're good, right? All right, so now here. Also, foods to power a man's penis. garbanzo, garbanzo beans. I don't know what those are. I don't eat it. However, avocado, I eat that. Eggs, spinach, dark meat, chicken. So that's the what? The leg and the thigh. Bananas, walnuts, watermelon, oysters, strawberries, yogurt, broccoli, oatmeal, eggplant, salmon, cherries, cashews, figs, garlic, Brussels sprouts, chili peppers, asparagus, sesame seeds, papaya, hemp seeds, ginseng, spinach, pomegranate juice, chickpeas, sweet basil, kidney beans, any of the soy foods, red grapes, make sure it's the grapes with the seeds, celery. The watermelon, make sure it's watermelon with the seeds as well. Any fruit with seeds, any fruit you get, make sure it has the seed in it. If it is seedless, it is not, it is more GMO. It is not organic. All right? Now, let me read to you the foods that have some of the minerals that our bodies need and the vitamins that our bodies need. Okay. So now, foods that have fiber in it. Apples, pears, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, spinach, quinoa. Quinoa is spelled Quinoa. I love quinoa. I put quinoa in my pasta. I put quinoa in my kale. And when I buy pasta, I usually buy quinoa pasta or pasta made with chickpeas. Of late, I try not to just buy regular pasta. It has to be mixed with the minerals that my body needs. Amaranth. Amaranth is also great. Legumus, I don't know what that is. Legumes, and I didn't look it up, however, I wrote it down. Beans, any type of beans. Flax seeds, chia seeds. All of those have fiber in it, all right? The next group, calcium. Poppy seeds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, okay? Cheese, yogurt, sardines, canned salmon, beans, lentil peas, almonds, whey protein, dark leafy greens such as collard greens, spinach, kale, rhubarb. I don't know what that is. That's Rhubarb. However, if you look it up and you happen to like it, more power to you. Okay. Fortified foods, amaranth, edamame, soybean, which is young soybeans. Okay, so the thing that's young soybeans, tofu, figs, and milk. Those have calcium. Next group is iron, the foods that have iron in them. Shellfish, which is any shellfish, right? Spinach, liver, and other organ meat, which means kidneys, heart, those types of things. Legumes, which is the same thing I pronounced up there. Red meat, pumpkin seeds, quinoa again, turkey, broccoli, tofu, dark chocolate. And pay attention to the foods that I list that has multiple different minerals in them, like quinoa, like spinach, like kale. You can't go wrong because those foods have more than one type of mineral in it, and your body needs several. So you don't go wrong when you eat those things. All right. The foods that have potassium in it: white beans, potatoes, sweet potatoes, beets, parsnips. I never bought parsnips. Spinach, Swiss chard, tomato sauce, oranges, and orange juice, bananas, avocado, yogurts, clams, salmon, coconut water. All right. Copper. Beef liver, dark chocolate, sunflower seeds, cashews, chickpeas, raisins, lentils, hazelnuts, dried apricots, avocado, sesame seeds, quinoa, turnip greens, black strap molasses, shiitake mushrooms, almonds, asparagus, kale, goat cheese, chia seeds. Folic acid, ladies, those of us who are looking to make sure we keep ourselves healthy before pregnancy, folic acid is one of the things that we need in our bodies prior to pregnancy. All right. The foods that have folic acid: spinach, collard greens, turnip greens, mustard greens, romaine lettuce, asparagus, broccoli, citrus fruits, beans, peas and lentils, avocado, okra, Brussels sprouts, seeds and nuts, cauliflower, beets, corn, celery, carrots, and squash. The amazing thing with this list is I eat just about all that are on this list, except for, I do eat romaine lettuce. Um, Celery, I'm not a big fan of celery unless I'm sauteing it with onions, and I don't eat a lot of carrots. Everything else, and I've never had turnip greens. Mustard greens I do have, I've had. Okay, um, and that's it. That's it. Okay, so it was imperative that I put this out there so that we can understand how much we contribute to the effeminization of the black man. What we listen to, what we teach, what we speak, what we eat. When you're feeding yourself a healthy diet, your brain starts to think a whole nother way. You no longer have tolerance for anything that's on a low level, even low level thinking. Low level thinking, low level talking, you no longer really care for it. You don't. And I can tell you that from experience. But I grew up eating healthy. My grandmother was a Trinidadian woman. She just never cooked junk food as well. And she would have on the refrigerator the whole pyramid of what the body needs, the essentials that the body needs. So whenever she went grocery shopping, she always made sure she was getting things that was in alignment with that pyramid. You know, I don't have a list on my refrigerator, but I have mental note of what the body needs. So when I go shopping to buy food, I make sure that I get several things that's along the lines, in alignment with what my body needs. And that's every week. Okay? I'm going to leave you guys with this. All right? Yes, we understand that the white agenda exists. However, what are you doing to make sure that you are firm in your stance? And what are you doing to make sure that you are not victimized by that system that you so complain about? Food is important, and we don't eat healthy. We don't. All that White Castle and Burger King, McDonald's, and we don't eat healthy. Okay? Talk to you guys another time. Peace.